sonke la ngalendaba ndaba education is key to success we haven't taught our parents yeah each one had to teach one must bomb beside the point we haven't taught us each one got to teach one let's learn from one another let's
Hello, how are you? I'm good. Dumelang, welcome to Each One Teach One. Nna ke nna Pula wa Hamatsaong. Hangata ha re kopana le batho bana hore ba tobane le diphephetso tsa seemo sa mmele. Re rata hore bana le matla. Re lebala hore bohloko ba mmele bo ba fitileng ho bona le maikutlo hore ba tobane le lona letsatsi leo. Se ke se tsebang ke hore ha ho bonolo. Ho nka motho ya tsitsileng ho shebana le kgahlano le maemo a hae. Mika Pretorius ya tswetseng ka lefu la cerebral palsy yena ge o ithutile hore tse a di batlang di tla tswa ka hare ho yena. O ke provile ho yena ho lelapa la hae hore dithibelo ke tse o ipelang tsona ha e tse di tswang ko bathong ba bangwe.
I was different from other kids because I was born with a disability. It's called, what doctors call it is a spastic diplegia. What it basically means is that some of my muscles developed and some of them didn't, and my development of my legs and stuff were different. To explain it best was that my one leg was, the legs weren't straight, so they physically had to do operations where they fixed it. They called it a femur rotation, where they literally cut it off from your knees, and they have to turn it back in and readjust it to make it possible for walking to take place, which made me a bit different, a bit slower, not less eager, and more less enthusiastic about fun stuff. What any other kid would want to do. What also made me different is where normal kids learn to walk by the age of between 1 and 2, I only started walking at the age of 4.
When the doctors prepared us for the worst and about her condition, and before she was born, we were quite relieved actually when she was born that it wasn't as bad as we thought. She could have been a Down syndrome baby because I took a lot of medication. I had to, which is bad for the baby in vitro. And just everybody that worked with her, from the pediatrician right through to all the specialists, were just so amazing and also so motivational. And because we were prepared, we actually sat down one evening and we decided we're not going to raise a child with disabilities, but we're going to teach her to cope with what she has. And that's what we focused on. We didn't try to heal her or to make things better, because there really aren't any prognosis for children in her situation. We tried to teach her to cope with what she had and make the best of everything she had to her advantage.
What I wanted to do more in my childhood that normal kids used to be able to do was, what I really wanted to be was a dancer. I really wanted to do ballet and dancing. And I'd asked my mom, and the one day we went to the doctor and he kind of tried to explain to me in just simple terms, because I was small and I didn't understand why, I want to dance. And he tried to explain to me that, if your muscles don't work the same way, so you can't really dance on your toes, it's very dangerous. The operations we've done, you could hurt your legs and you could end up in a wheelchair.
Breaks your heart knowing it's not something that happened because she fell or she got hurt in a hockey match, but because of you, basically. So the guilt comes with the baby and it never goes away, but you learn to handle it.
In primary school, I faced a challenge with 1 or 2 bullies, which wasn't the most fun experience. As with this bully, it was pretty bad. They would literally push me up against walls. Special days and Valentine's days, they would joke around and they would send me mock Valentines, or they would enter me into meneer en juffrou bene, which was very insulting because my legs aren't the thing I'd like to have on display or anything, and they'd try and force me to walk the runway, which I couldn't because I don't have depth perception and heights, and I mean walking the runway for your legs for me was just no-go. And just making jokes about me over the intercom in front of the whole school.
Bullies are there, whether you're a grown-up or a child, everybody gets bullied. So you try to teach them to cope again with strength and dignity, to know that those people actually have more problems than you do. Medically, it's always hard to help your child through something that you don't experience and you don't feel. But again, she was the inspiration, she was the strong one. And I think God looks after his angels. If they lend them to you on earth, he protects them and he looks after them. And it takes a village. I have an amazing family. We have amazing friends who are godparents. So we are very blessed and very lucky. It wasn't only us. There was always someone that supported us and that was there for us. We weren't alone. Never ever alone.
When someone, how I feel when I see someone mocks me is, it's going to sound strange, but I feel sorry for them because they don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand my situation. They don't understand what it took for me to actually physically achieve the fact that I can physically walk, what I had to do to get to that point. So I kind of feel sorry because they don't understand. They think they're being funny. It's not funny. It's actually kind of, it's awesome actually, because heck, I can walk and you can walk too, but that's my version of walking. So.
Let's learn from one another.
Ha ona le ngwana ya nang le disability, a mangata maikutlo a o tla fetang hare ho ona, letshoho, ho kwata, kgatello ya maikutlo le ho hula boima ka tsa ditjhelete. Lelapa la Hamika le lona le fetile ho dintho tseo kaofela, empa se ba fapantshang ke hore ba amohetse hore se ba hlahellang ha se maikarabelo a bona. Maikarabelo a bona ke hore bona ba tswela pele jwang. Mona ke ho fumana ditalente le kganya ho tsona.
Sometimes the conversations I have with myself aren't always that positive. I always say I have a strange dual personality where sometimes I'm extremely negative about who I am and my future, and knowing that, especially with finding love and one day having my own family, it's always been an issue for me because I always wonder, but what if I find that person and it's not that they don't love me, but are they with me because they feel sorry for me, or are they with me because they really love me and they really want to be with me and they can deal with my situation. I don't want to be a burden. It's always a game of some days it's good, some days it's bad. What I would do to get myself out of the negative space and feelings was films and books. I would escape into a great film and identify with characters and identify with their struggles, and I would read books to escape into a world where it is possible that someone in a wheelchair can shoot a bow and arrow, or someone who just got paralyzed is still writing his own book or something like that.
Her purpose definitely wasn't to be a disabled child. She's got a much bigger, much higher purpose to fulfill on this earth. And on your knees, you can achieve anything with the strength you receive from whatever you believe in or whoever you believe in. That's the most important thing. It's not up to you. Really not up to you.
What inspired me to want to inspire the world and tell stories was that I had, not to be too big about it, but I always felt that I had achieved this unimaginable thing from the get-go. They always told my parents, no, 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 you won't be able to walk, she won't be able to live a normal life, and I've been proving them wrong all this way. So I've always wanted to tell stories of inspiring characters where they show that not in an arrogant way or in a way that is rude or obnoxious, that you can achieve anything.
If you have a disability, don't think you can't do something. You can do anything you apply your mind, you just do it differently. There's nothing holding you back, never.
So after matric, I had applied to AFDA back in grade 10 already, and I had been on their waiting list until I graduate. I was in. All I had to do was go and sign up and pay my entrance fees. The challenges I faced when I went to AFDA was that certain things that I wanted to try was out of bounds. I was very determined to try out cinematography, but because of my legs and because of lack of balance and the weight of the gear and everything, it was going to be kind of impossible for me to physically shoot with a camera and do it myself, because I could lose balance and drop the camera and break a lens or something like that. So they were kind enough to let me try, and I was kindly invited back to the office, and they said, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, this is R1 million worth of equipment, and if you break something, you're responsible for it, and we don't want you to be spending the rest of your life paying back what you broke, because we envision that there were going to be some accidents. So I tried out different things. I was lucky enough to try out the sound department, and I always had a buddy that always boomed for me. I got to do the sound mixing, and I always told him where to stand, but couldn't physically hold up the boom myself. But I still got the chance to try it out. They were like, try out sound. It's easier than cinematography. Not easier, but it's just a little bit more practical for you. And I still got the chance, and I did quite well, and I enjoyed the lecturers, and everyone was always welcoming and nice. It was a bit more difficult because the terrain was different. It wasn't as Mika friendly with ramps and all that stuff. There were lots of stairs, lots of days where it was like, ugh, I'm tired. And also it was a shell shock to learn you have to have 12-hour days and 12-hour days where you're not resting enough and you're tired and everything. So it always got interesting, but I always had my support structure in place, and if I needed someone to drive me somewhere, I rather drove with a friend, or we always had a buddy system going. So.
Any emotion, any feelings, whether it's good or bad or guilt, you literally push through. Personally, I think my faith carried me through. Nothing would ever happen to me that I can't handle, and I really try to focus on that. And it's not that easy. It's very, very easy and very quick to say, oh, I believe in God and He gives me strength. He does give you strength, you just need to remember, and very often you forget. So you also get your moments, and you go cry in your room, or you go eat 2 bags of chips and a whole 2-liter ice cream, and then you get over it again. You build a bridge. It's just one of those things. You actually literally get strength from somewhere to just cope. You just cope.
I have sometimes asked God, why me? Why specifically me? Why did this have to happen to me? Why do other people have to be normal and I don't? And it's always been an issue for me. It's an ongoing battle that I go through every day, where sometimes when I look at a set of stairs, then I'm like, ugh, why me? But not too serious, but there's always a moment where I'm like, this is not fair, this isn't fair. And then I always remember, but who wants to be normal in a normal world? Why be normal when you can be extraordinary?
Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Mika, Mom, thank you so much for welcoming us into your home and most importantly, sharing your incredible story, which is full of hope, inspiration, and motivation. You know, often when you encounter challenges in life and you are sitting with a condition that you cannot change, the first thing that comes to your mind is, why me? Why is this thing happening to me? What is the purpose of all of this and what is the reason? And I want to hear from your side, Mika.
So I've always believed from a very young age, on and off, but I've always believed that my purpose on this earth is to inspire someone else, to show them that you can do this, no matter your circumstances, and also that to just tell the story, tell different stories and inspire future generations. Show them that no matter your circumstances, you can do this.
Right. And Mom, from the parents' perspective?
Well, my firm belief is that your soul has a purpose. So whether your purpose is to have a child with special needs, or whether your purpose is to help people educate children with special needs, it's your purpose to do exactly that and use it to teach someone else. You don't necessarily, it's not a punishment to the parent, and usually something happens to teach a vast amount of people or group of people. It's not only for one person, and nothing will ever happen that you can't cope with. So just see it as that and not as a punishment, just as part and parcel of life.
You shared with us the journey, the pain, the bullying, everything that we've discussed about. Why you didn't give up?
I never gave up because I knew that if I can give up in my position, then it's not possible for anyone else. So I always felt a big responsibility to be the example, coming from a big family, being the eldest. On many levels, I felt a big responsibility to show, to never give up, to be the one and the example.
Right. What would you like to say? What would you say to a mother, a parent, anybody who is sitting at home with a disabled children or children with limited abilities, and they are also sitting with very strict resources, if I would put it that way, or very limited resources?
Love doesn't cost money. Just love that precious little gift. Spend time with it, him or her. Tell them stories. Play with him. Play games. Read notices as you walk or drive. Just love that child, and it comes naturally. Everything. Talk about the clouds. See pictures in the grass. You don't need money to love that child, and that's actually all that child needs, is to feel so loved and so precious and so special. You don't need anything else.
Absolutely. I mean, with everything that we've been through, all the discussions that we had from both your side and you, Mom, one thing that came some of the themes, if I would call it that way, 5 themes, they came out for me. So the first one is acceptance, isn't it? Because the moment you accept yourself, then that's it. That's the foundation. There's no point to say, I wish I was like that, I wish I was like that. Because the moment you go on wishing and wishing and wishing, what do? You start focusing on the things that you don't have, and you lose sight completely of the things that you do have. And what we have seen with you is that you started focusing on the abilities, not the disabilities, but the abilities that you had. And the moment you identify those abilities, what happens? You identify your strength, and from your strength comes what? Power. And the other thing also is knowledge. You know, always when you're faced with a condition, have information, because with knowledge, again, it comes power. Know what is it that you're dealing with, right? Find out the information. You know, if your brain cannot allow you to do certain things. What is left of the brain? What is it that it can allow you to do? And rather start developing that. And the third point, Mom, you've mentioned it, it's love. It knows no boundaries. It does not cost anything. And I talk about unconditional love, because love is the foundation which all of these successes culminate from. And love can be given by anyone. Ukaba mme, ukaba motswadi, kapa ukaba a caregiver. So the moment o fa lerato ho ngwana o ileng gore hona le dintho tse ile gore o shebane le tsona tse ile gore ha gone go ka phomella go tswa go tsona, that thing e mo fa khotso and e mo fa le hope ya gore bophelo bo ka gona go tswela pele. So, and out of that love, one thing that you keep mentioning is support. And support is, it can be internal support, family structure, and it can also be external support. So if o shebane le di conditions tse jwalo, hona le di NGOs tse ding teng, hona le di support group, batla di support either ko family ya hao kapa ko ntle. And that leads to motivation, because I kept saying you are very motivated, which is some of the values that you've instilled in her. Because motivation, it keeps you going. Right? Motivation keeps you going, but your habits will sustain you, right? And when you are motivated, you tell yourself you have that I can do attitude. So above all, from what I could gather and get from this is your state of your mind. So if you believe you can, they say, which means you can. And the amazing thing about your state of your mind is that your body is the servant of your mind. It is the supporting structure of all your desires. It's the one that your mind says this to the body and the body is able to carry through. So se re ithutang sona ba mo hae ke taba ya gore kelello ya hao ya gona go forja di ntho tse leng gore they can lead to your own self destruction. At the same time, it can furnish you with tools so that you can build yourself. Motho o qala go ba motho tsatsi le a tlohelang go tletleba le go touta ka boemo ba hae, a batlisise sepheo se leng gore se ipatile ka morao ga maemo a hae le dintho tse leng gore di regulator bophelo ba hae, a fetollele kelello ya hae go sepheo seo. Ka ho o tla tlohela go ahlola batho le maemo ka boemo ba hae. Go tloga mo o tla fumana matla le bokgoni bo ka hare go yena. Ke nna Pula wa Gamatsaong ho fihlela re kopana bekeng e latelang. Each one teach one, dula leseding.
So Bakavanki is the Afrikaans word for penguin, but it is like, means small penguin. And from I don't know, well, since I was born, my father gave me this nickname. Because when I first started walking, it was like this little waddle I had, and he always said I looked like this little determined little penguin, because I always used to get these speed wobbles. Because I was like, when I get up and I get going, there was no stopping me. So I have this little speed wobble, like this very determined little penguin. So it's a nickname that quite stuck. So my entire life it's always been, and it's quite special. My mother's business, her logo is also a penguin, sort of in honor of me, because it's always been a lucky kind of image in our lives, and a sweet remembering how far we've come as a family.